Hello and welcome to the channel. If you haven't done so already, make sure to give it a like and subscribe. I don't know what you're waiting for. It's completely free, doesn't cost you anything. So without further ado, let's go ahead and cover this topic. This is very interesting. So General Motors is expected to charge people $135 a month on top of what you are already paying for your loan amount. To me, this seems like they're taking a playbook from the gaming industry where they have different types of tiers and they just try to confuse the crap out of you. If you pre-order this, you get that. If you pre-order this, you get this, but you will not get this unless you. It's just a bunch of bullshit. But anyway, let's go ahead and cover this article. It's an interesting read, I should say myself. All right, so here we go. The drive. Car buyers expected to pay extra $135 monthly for subscriptions. GM. These dudes are out of their effing mind if they think that they're gonna get additional cash from me. They're not gonna get anything, not a dime, a nickel, penny, nothing. Even though they're partnering with Honda, guess what? You're not getting that coin either. With the phase out of combustion powered cars on the horizon, direct to consumer sales are spelling out the future of car buying. Certain avenues of income, once transparent between consumers and manufacturers alike, are disappearing. That leaves OEMs with challenge of finding new ways to make money, and nowadays this means shifting towards subscription services. Now, the other article is interesting too. I'll go ahead and pull that up for you guys too. So here's that other article. 75% of car buyers don't want features logs behind subscription fees, which makes absolutely a lot of sense to me. Drivers don't care to have their pockets picked for heated seats every month. 100% agree. That should be an option to different, trim levels because every single car makers have different trim levels. You have your base, middle, and then you have your top of the line, and then usually some will have like three or four different version within that, but most companies have streamlined it. At least Toyota and Honda have tried to streamline their trim levels as much as they can. Like the BZ4X only has three, I think even two models. I think either you get the XLE or the limited. There's no in between. But anyway, let's go ahead and read some of these articles, which I agree 100%. I don't know why there isn't a little bit higher than 75% because I do not want to pay any additional cost. The only cost that I'm willing to pay is the connectivity. For example, if the car has internet or it needs some sort of connectivity, or maybe like it has Spotify built into the car where it can use the subscription for that $9 and spread it around, kind of like what Tesla does for your subscription fee. Something similar to that. I don't mind paying for that, but I don't want to pay for a feature like heated seats and paying monthly for it, which makes absolutely no sense at all. And remember that one time BMW tried to charge for Apple CarPlay and Android Auto, and it did not go very well for them at all. But anyway, let me go ahead to the original article. Don't want to give you too much and get overwhelmed and your brain mind blown. All right, so let's go on. As a result, automakers are becoming more and more like big tech by looking into subscription models. OEM can potentially attract steady predictability income in the form of customers paying for features already present in the vehicle but locked via software. And as pointed out by Axios, General Motors expect consumers to fork over as much as $135 per month on top of their car note in the coming years just to pay for subscription features. Woo-wee! Cars are changing whether we want them or not. A huge portion of the change involves connectivity, meaning the vehicles are able to utilize an always on internet connection to phone home per se. While this has some advantages like over the air updates and real time telematics, the more complex software also opens up the possibility of automaker to toggle features on or off with the complete automation. As opposed to visit the dealership, this means subscriptions are now easier than ever to implement, which is true. That's the unfortunate part of um, technology. We gotten to the point where I guess the car makers have a little bit more control over your vehicle. Um, especially the newer ones that's coming out, because technically they can override your car and shut off your car if you don't pay your note. Technically, I don't know if it's a thing, but it's just they're having way too much controls. Just way too much controls. It's no secret that new cars are also a massive expense in the average consumer's budget. In fact, the average price of new cars soared past 45,000 in 2021, which brings the average cost of $60 or 60-month prime auto loan to nearly $820 a month. Previously, General Motors Senior Vice President of Innovation and Growth, Alan Wexler, said the company's research indicated that consumers are willing to pay up to $135. They must be the rich ones, because my black ass ain't paying shit for that. I'm not paying $135. The most I'll pay is like $10, $15. But that's a stretch. That you better be giving me something amazing for it. But once the autopilot has been implemented on Tesla's vehicles, they will get that subscription. They will get people that want to try it out for $200 and something a month. So that's not too far fetched for people paying for those kind of services. Now, if they're locking away their their autonomous version of it under the $135, then that would make sense that they can make that money. But knowing GM, I would not trust that. Month on services for their vehicles. By 2030, GM anticipates that 30 million of its vehicles on US road will be equipped with some form of connectivity tech, and that will help enable automakers to generate additional revenue between 20 billion to 25 billion, much of that from either one-time purchase or subscriptions. There lies the problem. Most consumers don't want subscriptions. Facts. True facts. We don't want it. There you go. I guess it's going into the article that I was showing. A recent survey revealed that 75% of car buyers reported that they didn't want features to be locked in subscription, which goes against GM's research on the matter. If I asked anybody that I talked to, just anybody that's known anything about technologies or just vehicles or anything, they would completely agree with me that we don't want no subscription services, or at least we don't want certain features to be locked up under paywall. You know, this ain't the video game industry. This is automotive. This is something that you use daily to get you from to work or wherever the heck you're going. It's supposed to be enjoyable, not depressing. Anyways, moving on. Most consumers who responded to the survey said the safety and comfort features like lane keeping, remote start, as well as heated or cooled seats should be included in the cost of the vehicle and not be tacked on later using a subscription model. 100% agreed. Just lock it up under your trim levels, all right? You can lock up, I know the remote start, that's a little bit iffy there. Um, Especially when the safety tech that should be included, especially if you want to get a better IIHS, I think it's called, the National Highway Safety, whatever, the crash ones, when they do the crash testing and stuff like that. That should be included standard for all the safety tech. I know Honda includes that stuff standard. Um, Even your remote start with your keys, Honda is including that. But when you're using the app, I guess they can kind of get away of charging you for it. Um, I don't know, but I do agree that some of this stuff can be tacked onto certain trims, or maybe just charge you an additional, I don't know, $500, and then you get it for life. You don't have to worry about it. Subscription may also inadvertently cause GM pricing model to compete with other household commodities like Netflix and Hulu, Spotify, Peloton, or other monthly costs for a consumer that are simply identified as a subscription in someone's overall budget. I mean, you can see Netflix is struggling to keep people as it is right now, and they want to be talking about subscriptions on vehicles. Nah, man, nah. Nah. I know we all say that we want nothing to do with subscription fees, and believe me, I'm right there with you, but it seems like OEMs are trying their best to force subscription model on customers. From a revenue standpoint, it makes sense, Big companies love recurring income streams, facts. But for many consumers, this feels like a double dipping. I mean, charging for features already baked into vehicles like heated seats, Apple CarPlay, or even key fob functionality. Toyota hasn't gone over well in the past. Why would it now? Perhaps Mike Spinelli said it best: the era of car you own forever is coming to an end, which is true. I do believe that I had to make myself full screen here for my full spiel. I do believe that, companies are getting, or at least car companies are getting too much, power. Um, General Motors had their their system already in there. I think, what was it called? The Blue Shield, Blue something, where if you crash your car, they call you and let you know, like Auto Star, Auto something. I can't think of the name, but you know what I'm talking about. Um, those kind of features, those are fine. You're paying for somebody to be there, or if something happens or whatever, to maintain. In case your car gets stolen, they can disable your car. But I just feel like nowadays, with the implementation of, or at least not implementation, but like the fact that they're pushing electric cars so hard, it's still giving controls too much to the manufacturers to control over those cars, so that they can activate and activate and deactivate certain features. So they want that power too, which is kind of scummy. It has not gone very well at all. Every time they try to come up with any of this nonsense, we have backlash, and we got to keep on that same energy. We got to keep doing the same thing we've been doing, letting them know we don't want that shit. Just put it in a different trim and sell it to us that way. Or at least make it an option to where we can buy it and we don't have to keep recurring payment towards it. But certain things that I'm okay with is like connectivity. Like if you have 4G LTE on your car and you can access the internet or do different things within your car, and you don't have to use your own data. Or if you don't have, or if your phone is not getting no connection, but your car can, and you can do different things. I don't know. That I don't mind paying for, but the fact that they want to nickel and dime you for heated seats, or key fob remote start, or just any of these other nonsense, which is just complete bullshit. But anyway, let me know in the comments below what you think about this. Would you pay monthly subscription for heated seats or other kind of features that's locked behind a paywall? And if you are, what are they? Right? Make sure to like and subscribe. As always, I appreciate every single one of you guys for watching the videos. Thanks to you guys, we have reached over 600 subscribers. We are on our way. Thank you again. Have a good one. I'm out.